For most of us, when we start in business, we'll convince ourselves that the reason that we're not achieving the result that we want or getting to where we want to get to is because of the challenges that we're telling ourselves are stopping us. So things like, I don't have the time, or, I don't have the money. If I had more money, I could invest in my business, my company, or myself, or things like, I don't have the technical skills, I don't have the knowledge, I don't have the strategies, whatever. We'll have these reasons that we tell ourselves are why we're not where we want to be. And the truth is that it's nothing to do with those reasons. It's nothing to do with those challenges that we're not where we want to be. Because challenges will happen to us in life regardless. We can't avoid them. It's just part of life. We have ups and downs. Things will happen to us. But the distinction is, why is it that some people are able to encounter challenges but just easily move through them, yet other people encounter the same challenges and it stops them dead? And it's about the perspective. Because if you've got two different people and one of them is experiencing the same challenge as another, and yet one person's getting a different result than the other, well, the challenge is the same that they're experiencing, so it can't be anything to do with the challenge. So what's the difference? And the difference is how one person chooses to perceive that challenge or perceive that adversity compared to the other. And so I want to give you a specific formula for actually overcoming these challenges that will occur on your journey. Whether it's business, whether it's life, whether it's relationship, whether it's whatever, there's going to be challenges. And so we have to understand that no matter what the challenge is, no matter how it manifests in physical form, no matter how we're experiencing it in this moment, it's the same strategy that we can use no matter what to overcome it and move through it. And it's pretty straightforward, but it's easier said than done. And that's the key. Because what will happen is when we experience this challenge, say I don't have the money, right? I don't have the money to start in business. That's a common one that I'll hear quite a lot. So if someone's coming into business and they're like, well, I don't have the money to invest in myself. If I had the money, then I'd be able to, then it would be different. But because I don't have the money, I can't move forwards. That's a common story. So if we take that as an example, the first thing, if we're going to overcome this challenge, is we have to see it for how it is, not worse than it is. Because remember, we went back to the example, two different people have the same challenge. One overcomes it and moves forward, the other stays stuck. So it's about the perspective, it's about how they're choosing to see it. So the first thing we've got to do is see that challenge for how it is, not worse than it is. So the way that would typically look is you might say, or our normal dialogue might say, oh, I've got no money, I'm poor, I'm not going to be successful, I'm never going to be wealthy, I'm never going to have this, I'm going to stay stuck forever, blah, 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 whatever, right? So you just, become aware of the dialogue, that's step one, and then recognize that it's BS. It's not the truth. The truth is, the actual situation right now is that you have X amount of money in your bank account. Whatever that is. That's the truth. End of. There's no meanings behind that. There's no stories behind that. It's not predicting your future. Nothing about what you physically have in your bank account right now is anything to do with what you're able to do moving forward. Because the way that you know this is you can look at what is it you're trying to achieve and have other people with less money than you done it themselves already. And the answer is always going to be yes. I promise you, you're not going to be the first person in the world who is trying to start a business with no capital. Many, many, many people, in fact, more people than not, start businesses with no capital. It's just how they choose to see that challenge, right? So first step, see it for how it is, not worse than it is. And then second step, when you've got clear about it, ask yourself, what is it that I'm looking to achieve? What's the outcome that I'm looking to create? Start focusing on the solution, start focusing on the outcome instead of all the reasons that you can't, instead of the challenges. And ask yourself, if I'm dead serious about achieving that outcome, right, and it's really important to me, and I'm always going to want that, am I going to quit? Am I going to give up? And if the answer is no, if you're not going to quit no matter what, and you're going to keep going and keep going and keep going until eventually one of two things are going to happen. Either you are going to succeed or you are going to die trying. That's it. You can fail 1,000 times, but if you never quit and you keep trying new stuff and you keep getting resourceful and you keep overcoming your challenges, you will either succeed or you will die trying. If you die trying, you won't care about any of the trivial problems like how much money do you have in your bank account. That will not be your last thought when you're on your deathbed. I know it won't be mine. All right, so if that's irrelevant, the only other outcome worth considering is that we are going to succeed. And if we're going to succeed, does it matter what challenges we had to overcome along the way? Well, of course not, because if we're successful looking back, are we going to be like, oh, you know, I've got all this success and I've got everything that I want and I've achieved all my goals, but I just wish that one time that I was skint, I didn't have any money. I just wish that I had a bit more money 2 years ago. Like, you won't care about that. It doesn't matter. It's not important. So if you won't care then, and if you know you're going to succeed, you don't need to worry about it now. You don't need to let that challenge be the thing that's defining your reality and stopping you moving forward. Because the only reason it's stopping you is the story that you're attaching to it. So if you recognize that the story that's keeping you trapped is just a story, it doesn't exist anywhere in our own minds, the next step is just to surrender. Just stop trying to control everything. Stop resisting and just accept what is. Because when you can accept what is, it then loses its power over you. You go, you know what? What is that I have X amount of money in my bank account right now. Let's say it's $29. I have $29 in my bank account right now. That's it. Don't resist it. Don't fight it. Don't panic about it. Don't worry about it. Trust and have faith that if you're not going to quit, you will succeed. And when you succeed, this challenge will just be a little blip on your journey. You won't care about it. It's exactly what you needed to move you forwards. So surrender. Just let go. Just be like, this is what is. Now how can I move forwards from here? The fact that you don't have money is nothing to do with why you're not achieving your goals. Your past does not define your future unless you let it. And the only reason we let it is the stories and the meanings that we attach to that. What does it mean that we have $29 in our bank account? Oh, you know, it means that I'm not good in business, I'm not successful, I'm not wealthy, I'm not as good as other people, blah, 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 blah. Those are the reasons that will stop you, but they're all made up. It's all BS. Let it go, okay? And then when you've done that, a really powerful thing that you can do is then write down 10 ways right now that you could overcome the challenge that you're facing to move you closer to your goals. All right, so let's say your challenge is, I don't have the money. What do you want? I want to raise capital. I want to find ways to make money. What you do then is you write down 10 ways that you could make money or earn money, and you do it through the lens of, what would one of my mentors or what would someone I look up to do in this situation? And there's a reason that's so important. And the reason is that when we ask that question from ourselves, like, what can I do to raise money? We're still going to be ruled by all the stories and all the reasons, like, oh, you know, I could drive for Uber, oh, but I can't drive for Uber because I'm not willing to do that, and blah, 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 blah. Or I could go get a loan, oh, I can't get a loan because that's too risky, because you know what I'm normally like, I normally fail, like every time I've tried in the past I've always failed, so it's way too risky, I can't do that. Or, you know, I could go ask someone to borrow capital and I'll pay them back, oh, I can't do that because no one's ever going to trust me because I know that I'm not trustworthy and other people know that I'm not trustworthy, and blah, 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 story of the past, right? But when you ask that question, or you write down your 10 things from the perspective of somebody else, you don't have any of that BS meanings or stories attached to it. You just have, well, that person could go raise capital by going to the bank. They could raise capital by asking their friends and family. They could raise capital by doing X, Y, Z, you know, whatever. You answer those questions, write down the 10 ways that you could overcome your challenge, but you do it from the perspective of somebody that you look up to. And it's going to get you out from behind your own reality, your own stories, your own meanings, basically our own BS. You know, it gets us out from behind that. All right, so I really hope this helps. If you want to know how to overcome adversity, that's it. See things for how they are, not worse than they are. Get clear and recognize that if you're going to succeed, this doesn't need to mean anything. We can let go of the meanings. Step 3, surrender. And after that, write down 10 ways that you can achieve your goal, that you can overcome this challenge and do it from the perspective of somebody that you respect and look up to. And that's then going to give you a list of potential ways that you can move forwards. And then all you've got to do is just go take action. It'll be scary. You overcome the fear, you do it anyway. That's the key. All right, I hope this helps, and I'll speak to you in another video. So if you found this video useful and it's given you some new perspectives and ideas, then remember to share it with other people so that they can get value as well. Also, if you enjoyed the content and you would like a lot more like this, then hit subscribe. You will see that on the screen right now. Then you are going to benefit from a lot more stuff like this regularly, 3 times per week. Thanks for watching. I'll speak to you soon.